Trump is now telling Walmart to quote unquote eat the tariffs after he, for months after announcing the reciprocal tariffs, has made the argument time and time again that don't worry, American consumers, the economy is going to be just fine. Don't worry about rising prices because it's going to be the Chinese who are importing goods and other countries that are importing goods that are going to ultimately be paying the cost of Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs. But it seems like that's not the Trump's argument anymore, as he's now saying that it's up to Walmart to eat the tariffs along with China, indicating that essentially prices could go up on American consumers if Walmart decides to not eat the tariffs. And Walmart just in fact said last week that they are going to be raising prices on American consumers within the next few weeks. This is a major moment in this tariff battle, as Walmart is the largest retailer in America, and a large portion of Donald Trump's base does shop at Walmart on a regular basis. So let's go over here to, I have an article from MSN. It says, Trump takes on Walmart over tariff price hikes, setting up potential showdown with retail industry. Donald Trump has put the spotlight on one of the largest U.S. retailers over whether prices are about to start ticking up because of the sizable tariffs that he unilaterally enacted. Walmart has indicated that consumers will soon start seeing higher costs as Trump's tariffs have begun to take effect, and retailers broadly have tried to warn consumers about impending price hikes. But the president has sought to aggressively counter those warnings, instead putting the blame for cost increases on U.S. companies in China. On Saturday night, the president used his digital bully pulpit to call out Walmart, posting on Truth Social that America's largest brick and mortar retailer should insulate its customers. Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain, Trump wrote on Truth Social. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. So there it is. Trump's admitting that raising prices on consumers is an outcome of his tariffs. Is that the outcome that he wants? No. But I don't think that retailers are going to just go along with what Trump wants and take a bullet for Team Trump out of their goodness for their hearts and their love of the American consumers and have their profit margins decrease. That is not going to be what's going to happen. Look no further than the price increases that we saw during COVID era, when inflation was used as an excuse for retailers to raise their prices. And even after inflation came down and was much lower relative to other developed nations in the world, companies kept their prices at a stubbornly high rate, higher than the inflationary period would require them to. So this is something where prices are going to go up, right? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when and how much. And we have a lot of people acting like Trump has somehow saved the day with this 90-day pause that he negotiated with China, and a lowering of the reciprocal tariff from 150%, I believe it was, to just 30%. But a 30% tariff on imported goods from China, that is still a potentially massive price increase than before Donald Trump came into office. So for all the people that voted for Trump because he was supposed to lower the cost of groceries and lower inflation, is this what you voted for? Walmart now announcing that they're going to be raising their prices. This is not good. I'm a Walmart shopper. I mean, I use Walmart Plus. I get my groceries delivered to my door right over there. I don't drive anywhere. I don't go into Walmart ever. But I am a Walmart shopper every week. Millions and millions and millions of Americans are Walmart shoppers, and Walmart is a staple in many, many communities, where otherwise there would be food deserts and people would have no access to any sort of nutritional food or any day goods that they need. So this is something that's going to affect a lot of Americans, and Walmart kind of trying to downplay the sticker shock of going, yeah, we're going to, they're warning, we're going to be raising our prices. They wouldn't put a warning out that like that out unless they were 100% certain about the trajectory that these tariffs are going to have on the economy. Now what we'll look at is Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary, further confusing and confounding Americans on this issue of tariffs, essentially walking back what the president said over the weekend and saying, oh no, don't worry, it's going to be China paying the tariffs, when that's not what the largest retailer in the country is saying. Let's go ahead and check out Caroline Leavitt here.
President Trump and his top economic aides have repeatedly said that Americans will not pay the cost of tariffs. In fact, last week, Lutnick said people have to drop the, quote, silly arguments that consumers would pay the cost. But over the weekend, as you know, the president posted that Walmart should eat the tariffs and not charge the value customer anything. I'll be watching, and so will your customers. So does he acknowledge that if companies don't absorb the full cost, Americans will have to pay?
Well, first of all, the CEO of Walmart made those comments about the tariffs on an earnings call where CEOs, I believe, are legally obligated to give the most dire warnings and forecasts to their investors and stakeholders. The reality is, as the president has always maintained, Chinese producers will be absorbing the cost of these tariffs. And that is why China was so quick to hustle to the negotiating table with the United States of America. They need our markets. They need our consumers.
So there she is. I mean, Leavitt saying, again, don't believe your eyes, don't believe your ears. China is going to be paying the tariffs. Don't worry, it's going to be China. It's just not true. The tariffs are paid at the port when the goods are imported. That's what the tariffs are. So it's the American companies that are importing goods that are paying the tariffs. And Mike Pence, of all people, laid this out pretty well on his Sunday show appearance. And yeah, so there it is. Walmart, the largest retailer in the country, set to raise prices, something that Donald Trump obviously does not want to happen. But again, we had people telling us this, right? Let's not act like, oh, where did this come from? How did this happen? Right? I distinctly remember David Pakman, who some of you may know. He's I guess you could say a leftist YouTuber. I distinctly remember David Pakman continually making the argument back in August, back in September. No, tariffs are not a tax on other countries. It's a tax on middle-class people because American companies are going to decide to raise their prices if Trump is to get elected again. And he made this point time and time and time again. And no matter how much he said it, the conservatives that he was making the point to, it's just like in one ear and out the other. That's not what Trump says. So that's fantasy, right? That's liberal hogwash. because it's not what Trump says. So, you know, the reality is that Trump doesn't quite have a firm of a grasp on the economy as I think he thinks he does. And this policy, this tariff policy, is set to be the largest tax hike on low income Americans in a very long time. And to try to spin it as anything else is an absolute disgrace to the American people, who can see very clearly what it is that Donald Trump is doing here with these tariffs. That's all I got for you guys in this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care.